Looking back now, I can understand that the things that I was good at are kind of my neurodiversity superpower. I'm Dr. Kate Smith. I am a Knowledge Exchange Fellow in Flood and Society within the Energy and Environment Institute at the University of Hull. Most of my job is thinking about how water and people and communities interact with each other. Yeah, so the IDRIC project that I'm involved in is seeking to extend the number of people who think a renewables career might be for them by looking at what's already happening in terms of equality, diversity and inclusion within renewables and the low carbon sectors, and looking at what's working and what hasn't worked so well and what might work well in the future to try and bring more people into that workforce. I found out relatively recently that I had an autism diagnosis, and that made sense of a lot of the things that I had found really difficult when I was at school. And looking back now, I can understand that the things that I was good at are kind of my neurodiversity superpower. So spotting patterns, being able to take really complicated qualitative data sets, so collections of words about things that people have said or cuttings from newspapers or bits from literature or plays. I'm really good at spotting the patterns within those and being able to draw sense out of them. And that's the one thing I wish the only thing really that I would change is that I would have the understanding of how I work now. I would have been able to have that 10, 20 years ago when I first started in my the start of my academic career. In terms of the benefits that it brings to the overall workforce, the whole point of recognising neurodiversity is understanding that different kinds of minds and different kinds of brains excel in different ways. I know there's a strong association with certain kinds of specific learning difficulty that enable fantastic neuroplasticity and being able to turn shapes upside down in your head, because your visual processing is very kind of flexible and fluid, and that can be fantastic when you're looking at designing solutions in 3 dimensions. And people like me are really good at spotting patterns. I find that I can notice things that other people don't, which is useful when we're trying to work out why things aren't working, because I'm quite good at noticing the little things that maybe are getting in the way of something. So we have a question from some of the school children, which is about why we need people from different backgrounds and with different minds to come and be part of this work. So bringing in lots of different kinds of background is really helpful, because the problems that we're trying to solve with moving to a low carbon or net zero or zero carbon economy and dealing with the challenges that are caused by climate change they're big and complicated, and we need to have everybody on board, because otherwise the solutions aren't going to fit everybody, in which case they're not really solutions. If they're not solutions for everybody, it's not going to work very well. So we'll be looking at things that have already happened in the renewables and low carbon sectors around equality, diversity, inclusion, or looking at what some individual companies might have already done to try and address issues with their own equality, diversity, inclusion within their existing workforce. I'm quite keen for the work that we produce to help people understand the impact of their own initiatives. Because I think it can be the case with things like EDI, equality, diversity and inclusion. It can be a box-ticking exercise where you can say, oh yes, we've addressed equality, diversity, inclusion by doing this and this and this. But actually going back and seeing whether it did make a difference and for whom it made a difference is really important. Part of what we're trying to do is give people the skills within the industry to start finding that out for themselves.